Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday, and welcome back to my podcast, According to Artemis. My name is Artemis, and I just wanted to have a conversation with everyone. I know we did a wellness check-in not that long ago, like literally just a few days ago, but literally in between then and now, we all experienced, I'm sorry, I have like indigestion this morning. We have all experienced a tragedy, and I just want to check in with that. And what prompted this video actually was a post I saw this morning from a friend, and I just want to start off by reading it, right? It reads, "The messed up part about all of this, many of us black folk will go to work / hop on our Zoom meeting calls today and have to smile and pretend like none of this is happening. And we're not pretending for our own peace of mind. This is what we mean when we say this is exhausting." Now let me read it one more time and how I read it and how I initially felt it. The messed up part about all of this, and I'll pause. So this being the systematic racism, this being the blatant racism, this being us watch a man get murdered on camera while no one did anything, while no one bats an eye in the aftermath, right? The fetishizing of black people, the systematic racism in our schools and our jobs and the justice system, keeping us disadvantaged from the time that we've come here. That is this. The messed up part about all of this, many of us black folk will go to work / hop on our Zoom meeting calls today and have to smile and pretend like none of this is happening. And we're not pretending for our own peace of mind. Rolling eye emoji. This is what we mean when we say this is exhausting. So this post has literally been the physical representation of is the physical representation of how I've been feeling this week. And how I know all of you have been feeling this week. We watched a man in 2020, right, be murdered on camera for being black. And so I don't do this often, but this video is for my black people. Before I'm anything, before I'm a man, before I am a black man, a gay man, I'm human. And this is a human rights issue we're talking about. But we're talking about black humans right now, because it's the black humans that are not being given rights. They're so-called human rights. Our so-called human rights. So for me, I remember going to work, right, and no one batting an eye. No one, including me, asking my fellow black people, are you okay? No one asking me if I'm okay. And of course, our white counterparts, our employers, things like that, no one at all batting an eye. So what it reminded me of, honestly, was back in slavery when the black women, our black women, were raped, defiled, abused, right, by our white oppressors, and no one batted an eye. And the reason that no one batted an eye is because it was looked at as normal. It was expected that she just go along with it, she comply, or be further abused and beaten. No one batted an eye. She didn't bat an eye, her husband didn't bat an eye, the children didn't bat an eye. It was normal to know that, she was being raped. And that is what I felt like. I felt like, once again, America has raped us, has raped me, and because it's to be expected, I'm supposed to go to work and not for my peace of mind, but for the peace of mind of the white people I work with and work for. It's expected that I don't make noise or make a stink about it, because this is what is supposed to happen in America. And to be honest, why get mad at it, right? Why get mad at America for being who they are? Say you won't accept it, say you want change and do something different, but don't be mad at someone for being who they are. America is ran by racism. America runs on Duncan type of thing? No. America is ran on racism. Black people have built this country, stolen, looted from our homeland in Africa, brought here, built this country on our backs. We can no longer call Africa home. We can't even call America home. We're abused. We leave slavery, Jim Crow laws, segregation. Here we are today, police brutality, petty crimes being charged to us, but then not being charged in same and in kind to every person. Our black men going to jail for things that are ridiculous. Our black men being killed in front of our families, their families. And it won't stop. Because America is ran on racism, it will never go anywhere. And we support, as black people, we support racism, both tacitly and overtly. When we watch and participate in sports like football, for example, let's really think about that. Sports, in and of itself, at its core, largely is black people running around entertaining white people. Okay? And it has been that way. It has been this way, rather, since slavery. What, we get paid for it now? That's how it's always been. To help us comply, we've always been given a little bit to hush us up, right? Because it's always been known that a little bit will keep us happy. So the money is now being a little bit, but what are we giving up in return? Because in return, what I see is these massive celebrities, right, with these massive platforms who are supporting racism, and it makes it look like to the masses and to the general public, to the black masses and the black general public, that this form of racism is in fact not racism and it's okay, and continue to participate, to play sports, support it with your money, when it's racism at its finest. And when we think about Colin Kaepernick taking a knee for racism and how the very industry that he works for, the very industry that many of us support, victimized and villainized and demonized him for it, how does that not scream racism? When we watch these award shows and we hear the black sound, but we don't see the black voice, racism. When we see these white celebrities, these Armenian celebrities, with the same lips that I have, pink, full lips, you know, the way I wear my natural hair under this do-rag, and when I wear it this way, and in the media over years throughout history, it's been mocked. Blackface, just the music that we participate in, it has a negative connotation when it's us. When it's the music that we participate in and practice, and it's the hairstyles, our regal and royal braiding styles that have African meaning, ancestral meaning. When we practice those things and be ourselves, we're ghetto, we're ratchet, and we're loud, and we're obnoxious, and we're unruly, and we're not model citizens. But when Armenians do it, right? The Armenians that many of us support, I don't, but I'll say us because I'm black, and I'm gonna share in the things that my black people share in. And many of us as black people support these celebrities, these women who will mock the way we look. The world will mock the way we look, mock the way we sound, mock the way we dress, mock the way we act. But when they lay under the knife to look the same way, to have the same full lips, to have the melanin, to have the hair, the weaves, and the units and things that they put in to mimic the way we look, that is racism. And we in turn support the racism by supporting their shows, supporting their music, supporting their businesses, their makeup, okay? They literally want to look like us. And that is what I've realized over the course of history. We are not allowed to have anything. Music has always been something that has helped us as a people get through hard times, from slavery until now. And it's like we are not even allowed to have that solely. White people want some of it too, and not only do they want it all. They want to take the music from us and forget that we created it, that we originated it, that we were the that we were the curators. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little excited. We were the curators, the originators of many sounds, of many styles, of many art forms. And then it is taken. It is what we have to give us peace in the slavery we still live in. And it is taken from us. We give it freely. We think it's cute that we have white friends that's down with the cause and that want to act black. No, this is just all we have to get through it. And then it's taken from us, and we're forgetting that we've ever contributed to it, created it. And then not only is it taken from us and we're forgotten, we're made to look bad for being ourselves. But again, when it is then taken and done by white people, it is right. That is racism. When we are black men and we only date outside of our race, that is racism. How can we only date and be with white women or white men and not our own people when we have such the history that we have between the two, especially when it comes to sex? We have been sexually abused forever by white people. So to bring yourself to say and to be a person who only has sex with white people, that is scary, because it is the internalization of that racism and you don't even see it. And it's funny because I seen a post the other day. It was a straight porn star, and he was black, and he was talking about a company he worked for. I won't say the company, but it was about a company he worked for and how their silence during this time was very, informative, he said, for him. Because he said this company and many companies like it fetishize black men, fetishize our body parts, fetishize our sexual prowess, whatever the case may be. And we all participate in that. When we watch porn like that, when we only date white women and white men, and it's the black penis that's celebrated and the black body, where's the difference? We've always been a sexual object to white people. That hasn't changed because we get paid for it now, because it glorifies us. And that's the thing, we have to stop being willing to accept any form of adoration from our oppressors to keep us at bay. We are treated like animals, and we in turn, act like animals. I have a dog. If I beat him right now, will he be scared for a little bit? Yes. But if I go and give him a treat, will he come back out? Will he love me again? Will he act nice? Yes. Because he's an animal. He's without thinking, without human thinking. Why do we act that way? We're people. But then we act like animals when we get shown a little bit of, niceness, or a little bit of a nicety. It's not nice. It's to keep us in compliance. And I share in the blame. I support celebrities, I watch celebrities, I listen to music that furthers racism. So what I want to do, and the reason that I'm making this video, because I'm not one to protest, I'm not one to loot, because at the end of the day, let's be honest, that is going to result in more deaths for us than is going to result in any sort of resolution. I understand the anger, and I'm not judging anyone for expressing their internal protests, how they choose to express it. But for me, I want to make sure that I take back ownership of my blackness. You understand what I'm saying? I want to fall in love with and marry a black man. I don't want to love anyone else besides that. That is important. When I listen to music, when I wear my hair, I want to take pride in that. I don't want to walk into my job and sit there. And have you ever felt this way? Have you ever been at work and you just feel not uncomfortable, but you notice that there's racism in the room? Not because anyone's acting a certain way, but have you ever just walked into a room? Have you ever just been in a room already and a white person has walked in, and you feel the distinct feeling that there's a difference in the room, that there's a white person in the room, there's a black person in the room, and that there's racism in the room? That is what racism is. But then let's flip it. What do you think the white people probably feel? Now, maybe not all of them feel, that they hate me or you because of our skin color when they see us, but maybe they sit there and they feel just as uncomfortable, or I didn't feel uncomfortable, but I noticed that there's a feeling to be felt. But maybe they feel uncomfortable. Maybe they feel hate. Like, when you think about that, that's racism. I want to take that back. When I walk into a room, losing my voice because I'm excited. But when I walk into a room, I want to reach a place where I don't give a fuck how you feel because I walked into it, because I was already in it, because I'm black. I want to wear my hair and I don't care what negative feelings are associated with it. And I want to stop glorifying it when I see it on social media, when it's worn by someone who's not a person that looks like me. You know what I'm saying? When I watch these shows, I want to stop watching these award shows where I hear the R&B, where I hear the soul, where I hear the pain or the fake pain and struggle that's trying to be conveyed through the black sound, but is missing because it's not coming from a black face. I'm going to stop supporting those shows. I'm going to invest my dollar into black businesses and not just say that I'm doing so. I want to find ways to, when I eat and buy groceries, can I purchase them for black people? You know what I'm saying? Can I grow my own shit? Like, we have to invest in ourselves. We have to stop participating in the racism, because it's not going to stop from white people. They're going to still hate us for being black. And I'm not talking about all, but you have to understand something. Think about being black, growing up, talking to your grandparents, growing up, going to school, and the history of black people is that we came here as being slaves. That is our history. But for white people, their history is that they own slaves. Like, that is their history. So when we sit down with our grandparents and they talk about when their parents and parents were slaves and what they went through, when they weren't slaves, but they were going, through segregation and Jim Crow laws when they were growing up, those are the stories being told to us. What do you think the white people stories, what do you think those stories are that are being told? When they grew up during Jim Crow, they were killing black people and abusing black people, maiming black people and lynching black people, and they owned slaves during slavery. Like, that is their history. So it is always going to be an essence of racism in that way. But what I can make sure I do is own up to my part. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if it's the television that I watch, the media that I watch, the media and celebrities that I support, the way I spend my black dollar, the friendships that I make, the friends that I have and the things that I allow, the people I sleep with, the people that I make friends with, those are all